Hello and welcome to this short video about graduate schemes. Graduate schemes offer a host of benefits which make them a very popular route to take after university. This video will explain everything you need to know from the benefits and challenges of doing them. So this slide shows what we're going to be looking at in this video. So first of all, we're going to be looking at what is a graduate scheme, then the pros and cons of doing one of them, the application process you can expect to take part in, and the research and support which are available to you from the careers team to help you with your applications. So first of all then, what is a graduate scheme? So a graduate scheme is a structured training programme run by an employer to develop future leaders of their organisation. They usually last between 1 or 2 years, however they can be longer depending upon who you work for. And they're often offered in a number of different specialisms, which are also sometimes called streams. So for example, you can take part in graduate schemes in finance, retail, HR and marketing, all sorts of things from management to law. Graduate schemes are generally offered by employers, however there are some offered by smaller companies and also charities. So for example, Cancer Research runs a graduate scheme. And the majority of the schemes require you to have at least a 2-2. However, if you have a 2-1, it's great because it can open up more opportunities to you. So here's some points to help you work out if a graduate scheme is for you. So first of all, if you get a place on a graduate scheme, you'll be given on-the-job training and development. And this is great because it'll help you to start your career and learn essential skills you need to be able to thrive at work. And even if you don't end up staying with that organisation once the scheme finishes, it's a great way to gain skills that make you employable for other employers in the future as well. In addition to that, a lot of schemes also offer the opportunity to gain professional qualifications while you work. So for example, you can also study for a master's, PhD or an industry recognised course whilst you're also on the scheme. Now, one of the great reasons why a lot of graduates are attracted to graduate schemes is the benefits and rewards. So quite often they offer lucrative salaries and offer things like generous holiday allowances, private medical insurance, sometimes even a company car. I suppose one of the best known for this is the Aldi Graduate Area Management Programme, which has a starting salary of $44,000 and also offers a fully expensed BMW 3 Series. So the benefits and rewards can be great depending upon which scheme you go into. And aside from that then, if thinking about your career, it would also help you to build your network. So by taking part in a scheme, you're likely to meet a whole range of influential people and make some great contacts who can then hopefully help you throughout your career. And also, if you are someone who would like to travel in the future, then if you work on a graduate scheme with a larger organisation who have offices all over the world, that will hopefully give you the opportunity to kind of pursue your career outside the UK as well. And I suppose the other good thing as well about taking part in a graduate training scheme like this is that you won't be on your own. So quite often when we start a new job, we're kind of the only new person in the office. Whereas if you take part in a graduate scheme, you'll be starting with a whole group of people who are in a similar position to you, and hopefully you'll be able to support each other through your graduate journey. So they're the things that kind of would hopefully you'll find a benefit from taking part in a graduate scheme. Here are some things then that might make you think twice, maybe just to kind of consider. So the first thing is that they are very, very competitive. So they're incredibly sought after because they offer such kind of lucrative pay and training and development. So you could be competing against hundreds, maybe thousands of other candidates just for a handful of places. So really the top tips are, if you are determined to go down the graduate route, it's best to really start researching and applying as soon as you can in your kind of second year at university, so that you're ready for when the applications open at the beginning of your final year. It's also worthwhile as well, rather than maybe just focusing on one organisation that you'd really like to work for, is to apply for a few different schemes with a few different organisations. And also make sure your application is tip-top, make sure it's absolutely perfect. And also make sure your application is the best it can possibly be, so that it sells you well when you apply for the position. The other thing to take into consideration is that you might be asked to travel a lot as part of the role, and you might even have to relocate as part of the training program. So sometimes you're asked to move around different departments, and they can be based in a completely different geographical area of the country. And also remember that these jobs are rarely 9-to-5 jobs, so you'll be really expected to work late, you could be expected to work from home, maybe even weekends as well. So it's worth considering if that's going to work with the kind of lifestyle that you'd like. So this slide here shows the kind of application process and when these schemes are advertised. And graduate schemes tend to operate on a seasonal basis, so it means that there's a set period for accepting applications. But that can mean, though, that if you miss out on that window when the applications are open, you might not get another opportunity to apply for that scheme or for that employer for another 12 months. So it's worthwhile doing your research while you're in your second year at uni or your penultimate year at university, so you know exactly when the application is going to open, so that you know when you need to get your applications in. So it usually begins in August or September of your final year, and that's with the idea of recruiting graduates on the graduate scheme for the following year, so they can start kind of August, September the next year. And there's traditionally quite a lengthy process that you have to go through when applying for a graduate scheme, and we'll look at that on the next slide. So that tends to be that the applications open around August, say, of your final year, to recruit somebody for the next year, to start the next academic year. However, some graduate schemes operate on a more of a rolling recruitment basis, so employers will recruit people as and when they need them. So it's definitely worthwhile keeping an eye on organisational websites, following people on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, etc., to see when vacancies will be kind of opened and when they're available. Now with this, though, it often means that once they've got enough applications, or once they've recruited enough people, they will close the application window, so you won't be able to apply after that. So I suppose the top tip really is, whatever graduate scheme you're going to apply for, apply early, get your application form in, so there's no possibility of you kind of missing out on that chance. So this slide here shows the kind of typical recruitment process that you might go through when applying for a graduate scheme. So usually what happens once the applications are open is that you will be asked to apply with an online application form, sometimes with a CV as well, but usually it's an online application form. You'll be asked to complete some tests, maybe take part in a telephone interview or a video interview, which could be live or pre-recorded. You may have a face-to-face interview at some point in this application process, and possibly be invited to an assessment centre. So it is quite a lengthy kind of process to go through, and it can last around 6 months to go through all of this. So you have to be pretty determined that this is exactly what you'd like to do. And also, employers are very keen to make sure that you are in the best position really to apply for the schemes. They want you to give you kind of as much information as they can about them. So, for example, the NHS offers information from their current trainees about tips on how they prepared for their assessment centre, and alumni share advice as well about interviews on their website and on their Instagram accounts. So it's well worth looking at the careers resources that are available to you before you start your application process. So this slide kind of shows where to look for graduate schemes really. And I suppose if you're interested in working for a specific company or going on to a specific scheme, then look at their website, go direct to that website and see what opportunities there are and when the graduate schemes are going to be open to apply for. It's also a good idea to follow organisations that you're interested in working for on social media. So, use popular channels such as Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And the other good thing about following them online is that it also gives you a good idea about the company's culture and values and what they consider to be important from their employees. So hopefully you get a kind of a feel for that. And also what you could do as well while you're at university is attend careers fairs and virtual recruitment events. And these will give you the opportunity to find out a bit more about the employers that you're interested in working for, and maybe even a chance to speak to them or recent graduates about what's involved in a particular scheme. So we can support you in lots of different ways with your applications for graduate schemes and any kind of graduate job. So first of all, with CVs and applications, there is lots and lots of information on our LJMU webpage and on the Career Zone 24/7 website as well. On the Career Zone 24/7 website, there's a whole kind of set of resources based around CVs and applications, which would be great to work through before you start your application. And also there's a tool on there called CV 360, which can give you computer generated feedback on your CV. In the careers team as well, we also have a team of people called employability advisors who can give you one-to-one feedback on your CV. And I'd really recommend you take up that opportunity to have somebody look over your application form or your CV before you submit it, because sometimes other people can see maybe mistakes or ways that you haven't quite sold yourself as well as you could do, even though you can't maybe see them yourself. The other thing that we can offer online to help you are things like help with online tests. So there are some practice tests on Career Zone 24/7, which is on our LJMU Careers Team website. And also the British Psychological Society also offer a list of websites that can offer practice psychometric tests as well. So there's a whole load of other kind of websites on there that you can go to and practice some psychometric tests. We can also offer video mock interviews to anybody who'd like to practice their interview skills. And there's an interview simulator on Career Zone 24/7 called Shortlist Me, which gives you the chance to kind of practice pre-recorded interview questions where you can record yourself answering interview questions and then get, again, computer simulated feedback on that. And throughout the year, the careers team will also be offering a practice virtual assessment centre, so please keep checking our events pages to see when they're going to be taking place. So that brings us to the end of our video. I hope you found it useful. Here are our contact details, and it'd be great if you could get in touch with us if you have any questions or if you'd like any help with your applications or a mock interview with the training team. Thank you.